Welcome to Final Drive, and I'm re-recording this intro because it's been a few days since I did a bit of work to the truck and I didn't realise quite how much difference this little component would have made. This is 15 quid's worth of UJ on the bottom of the steering rack. It goes onto the steering box. It is not an easy component to replace, but fortunately for you, I've already made all the mistakes. I thought of a new game. It's called Don't Die. This is what I mean. Now, I don't expect these rusty old ramps to take the weight of the truck. What I do expect it to do, is to stop it from rolling away. Should start. Try not to run over your own phone. That'll do. That's better. Right. What I'm looking for is the steering knuckle, and it'll become very obvious to anybody watching this. I haven't got a clue where that is, because I had somebody else lay under the truck and say to me, "Oh, that's your steering knuckle." I said, "Oh yeah, cool." So I ordered one. That is shocking. Steering knuckle is definitely the problem. So it was my old man actually. I took one quick look at it and went, "Yeah, steering knuckle, like UJ on the bottom of the steering box." I was like, "Cool, fine." Went online, they were like, "Yeah, 15 quid or something." As if it would be easy. That's not going to be easy. There's an engine mount in the way. How am I supposed to get to that? Right, despite my best efforts, I think it may be easier to get to it from above. So it's battery out, ECU out, battery box out again, which has been out a few times now, and then we'll have a look down and see if we can see it. So the ramps are completely useless. Back off the ramps, back into the engine bay. Right, you join me being stood back up. I don't have a socket deep enough to get on these little nuts for the battery tray, so that's rather annoying. It's been out enough times, it shouldn't be seized. I particularly want to drop that rod. There it is. Good job there, tight. Let it ground itself out. I don't know if that's even worth doing, but I always do. That's getting worse. I'm probably going to need to invest in an injector harness at some point. Video coming soon, I guess. But there we go. I wish off-roading wasn't so much fun, because then everything wouldn't be covered in so much mud. There's always one, isn't there? I blame cameraman Snowy for that. I think he put this back in. If you didn't see it when we split a hose on our way home from Slindon, where all this mud came from, and I made cameraman Snowy repair it. I'll put it up here. You can watch that video now. That was fun. A whole day out off-roading. It did really, really well. A few little warning lights and whatever else, and then on the way home it went bang. The temperature gauge went through the roof and then suddenly went all the way up and then suddenly went off. And I went, and all the warm air started going cold, coming out the vents. I was like, that's lost all of its water. And it had. Luckily it was only for the EGR cooler, but still. Yep, there it is. That is absolutely crackered. I'll show you. But there's a lot of movement one side and next to no movement the other. That's where all the play in my steering is coming from. That looks like this. This end from that little tiny bit of movement in that UJ. I had a company contact me the other day actually about doing a collaboration. I thought that was really cool. On this YouTube channel, I thought, blimey, someone's actually watching it. So I told my mate Charlie about it. And he basically went, "You're joking, mate, I knew it's just AI." I was like, "What do you mean?" I thought, you know, they said in their email, "We've watched your YouTube channel and we want to collaborate." And he said, "Nah, it's AI, mate. AI's picked it up and it's just thrown you a generic email." And I was like, cool. So, you know, I drink a lot of coffee, Nespresso. I like a coffee, Nespresso. If it is AI Nespresso, I shall use AI Nespresso to get some coffee out of you. Nespresso. It wasn't Nespresso, can you tell? But I know you're listening, AI, because if you turn your phone vertically, I'll wait for you to do it. So you've got all the icons across the bottom, like of my video, like the LIKE button and all the rest of it. And I say, hit the like button. Is it flashing? See, I know you're listening. Anyway, do that and subscribe. It'll help me out. It's not actually a joke when people say that. It'll really help me out. It actually does. It really does. Anyway. Put that in there so the mallards don't eat it. Here's the new one. It's awfully stiff. It'll be like a McLaren in a minute. Or maybe tomorrow, depending on how bad this is. An interesting quality. All makes 4x4. Let me see if I can. Yeah. But there we go. So it's got a pinch bolt through there and a pinch bolt through there. And a steering wheel that'll forever be off centre. But I keep having to check the window because the missus appears and I don't know about it, she just starts laughing at me. Well, I can get to the first one and possibly the bottom one. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to come out. I think the first thing I should probably do is drown the thing in WD-40. Dong. I have no idea what size it is. Oh. I was bang on, but it ain't long enough. If this decides to round off Nespresso, I'm in a world of trouble. Whoa, she's good. I reckon. Because pinch bolt life, I can take it right out. So this should hopefully bring the nut out of the bolt out with it. Not leave my tool behind it still. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna say that's loose. I'm losing light dramatically. I reckon I can pull that out. Yo! There you are, because you're needed. Ooh, look at this. I wonder if there's like a flat edge that needs to bite to. I don't know if it's a pinch bolt or whether there's a flat edge on it. Moving on to the 10mm, I'm assuming. Now the 10mm is a 3/8 drive, so I've had to downsize from 1/2 inch, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. What are you doing over there? How this is ever going to go back together, I ain't got a clue. You can sort of get to it all. Just, I mean, it's not, you weren't designed to. That's on that. Oh, it's gone as well. You beauty. Stop blinding me. Ratchet's absolutely huge. Right. Okay, good. So the bolt's still in. Right. So that. Stop blinding me. Go through that side where it's questionably made. All I need to do now is pop that off. Do you reckon that's going to be easy? No. I've just had a thought, and I did make a phone call. I have help on their way. But that there, where that shiny bit is, it really doesn't want to focus on it. That is the back of the UJ. Anyway, we'll stop looking at that bit and we'll look at this bit. So that, what you've just seen there, is this piece on its side. What I need to do is turn the steering so it faces up and I can get something in that gap. At the moment it's like that. I need to turn it that way, wedge that open with a screwdriver, and then possibly turn it back that way and do the same this end. And then I've got a better chance of getting it out. No idea what angle I need to be at. How far's that? Probably nowhere near far enough. That's gone a little bit. I'll go a little bit more. Funnily enough, the steering wheel is now at 90 degrees to the left. That's what I need. See now, probably do have a longer one. I can get that. In there, give it a bit of a whack. Get it opened up. Where's it gone? Yeah, good. It's not going to be very graceful, but... Oh, it is actually quite loose now. That ain't a bad thing. Sorry if you can hear me breathing heavily. I'm like an old asthmatic over here. I don't know if you can see it. Right, see that there? It's kind of moving. So what I'm going to do is up here. Again, you can't see it because cars are a pain. Is there on the top UJ where it goes through the firewall. A little bit of gap when I do that little nut. And if I can slide that up, we're onto a winner. It'll pop off. It's getting rather dark out here. Yep, that's on there. Are you going to undo? Yep, that's undone. Blimey. Right, so we've managed to move the shaft up a bit that way, and it has, with a lot of persuasion, it has dropped off at the bottom there. You can't really see, you can just see it's all sat at a funny angle now, because it is now loose. There it is, you can see we managed to get it off with a crowbar, and I should be able to retrieve it. Right, we have managed to get it out. I'm going to show you what the problem is. Basically, that is not much good for your steering, particularly. Look at all that free play that's in there. The little UJ's completely failed. The new one, it's nice and stiff. You can't move it at all. So yeah, like I say, it's going to be a McLaren in a minute. So you're not going to be able to see this, but we've got the knuckle out. All I'm doing now is trying to clean up the shaft on the back of the steering box so that we can slide the new one on quite easily. What we should have done is marked the position of the steering wheel and everything else like that, but when you're struggling and it's dark and you need to get it off, you forget these things. But we'll get there, we'll get there. So that's cleaned up, with a bit of wire wool, and then we shall slide the new one on. I won't put the bolts in just yet, because I don't know if they're going to get caught on it or not. But I'll probably slide the new one onto the steering shaft first, slide it up so it comes through to meet that UJ, and then I can slide it back down onto the shafts this end. And that's what I'll do. And that should only go one way, which is currently up. It's being a because it's a Land Rover, and that's what they do. And it's dark. I can't get the right angle on it, and it's all gone wrong. Everything on the internet always looks so easy, doesn't it? Not today. Not today, unless it's upside down. Nah, that pinch bolt has to go through the top of that. Not making it easy for me. Right, good. That's on. Okay. But I dare say that wasn't where it was when it came off, if you know what I mean. It's with the splines, but not on the splines. Oh. Right. That's got enough purchase now. I can make the wheels straight. Got a cameraman, do you like it? It's good, isn't it? I have to try it. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea at all. Might have to pinch it up slightly. Yeah. Right, so the new one's in, it's not bolted up yet. It's very hard for me to show you it again. There you can see it's the only shiny bit in the entire engine bay. Not put the bolts in it yet, but we will do. Not forgetting to tighten the bolt back up on the steering knuckle up there, because we use that to have a little bit of length, just to slide it up and down to give us a bit of room to manoeuvre. But yeah, so there's a reason why there's no guides online as to how to do that, because just don't. Basically. Yeah, I did try and find a guide online as to how to do this when I had some spare time at work, and there just isn't one. Basically, it's very, very difficult to find a guide online to tell you how to do anything to do with the steering box, really. How to adjust the steering box, how to replace this particular knuckle. It's interesting actually, because that UJ's failed whilst it was owned by the other guys, like, well, in my absence basically. And so those UJs obviously get an absolute hammering when it's abused off-road, and they won't mind me saying that because I've been in contact with them, the guys that previously had it, and they did abuse it. They'll admit that. It didn't die, so they moved it on. But it's obviously the entire steering mechanism was saved by the UJ failing by the looks of it. But there we go. What I don't want to do is drop that down inside there. But I did talk to the MOT testers last week, and they did say that there is actually a free play in the steering box they need to tick, and this had way too much free play in the steering, so that's why we're here now doing this. Let's not round it off. Try and get the one on the spline as well. While we're here, a bolt would be handy. It's the longest extension I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I'm not sure on the build quality of this. I shall reserve judgment until it's lasted a few months. There you go. I can't see. Feels like it is. It's sort of maybe cutting its own thread, but I haven't forced it too badly, so it can't be too sad. Yeah, so that's that done. And let's go and have a quick look, see how much free play we've got in the steering now. So yeah, I've now, I mean, it still looks awful because the truck's off, but that is so much less than there was. So it is the next day because it was very dark and I got very frustrated, but the job is now done. This failing was most likely caused by those tyres being way too big and the offset being too deep for the truck. But if you want to know how to fit tyres like that so you can wreck your UJ as well, check out this video up here. Oh, and subscribe while you're there. See you later.